Hey everybody! Today I wanted to talk to you about the business side of photography and how you can slowly start to make some money, just give you some ideas. And of course there's a ton of ways out there that you can do that, but I just wanted to share you my top 5 picks that I personally found to work well for me or that I found works really well for a lot of other photographers. And the first one is Microstock. Now I'm sure you've heard of it before, but it's pretty much you upload your pictures to a third-party website, and then whenever somebody searches for a picture, they might see your photo that you've uploaded, and then they can decide to buy it, and you get a certain amount of the price they paid. So there's a lot of different platforms out there, but it is very easy to start off with. So you don't need some crazy experience, you don't need anything. Even if you just have pictures, you can start uploading them and titling them, keywording them, and then hope that maybe somebody's gonna download them. However, it's not a thing that you wanna quit your job over, because it's gonna be very tedious. You know, the upload process, tagging and titling hundreds of pictures can be very laborious, very grindy. So you might not enjoy it. And even then, even if you have a few hundred pictures on a platform or multiple platforms, you might need to wait months until a first picture sells. So it's not something what I would recommend you to fully focus on, but rather something that you can start literally today and just see how it goes, if you like it, and it gives you that residual income. You might put a ton of work in it and you might not get any money at the start, but over the months it will, you know, if you have good enough pictures, you've titled them right, and you have enough pictures on there, then it might start to slowly generate the revenue, and it might do that for multiple years. So, you know, usually you expect you do a job, you get paid. Here it's more like you do the job, but you don't get paid. And then you get like a little bit, maybe in a few months, and a little bit more, but it does add up over a long time. But again, yeah, not really something I would recommend you to fully focus on, because there is a lot of competition. Alright, okay, so maybe that's not your thing, maybe you want to try it. Now let's go to number 2, and that is actually just working with clients directly. So this might be portrait photography or wedding photography, maybe event photography, anything that you interact with a person or, you know, an event manager, whatever, directly, and you go out to shoot that event, have a meeting, and take some pictures. And that is going to be a lot more direct than, let's say, stock photography, because if you're going to do your job, you're going to deliver your pictures, you're going to get your payment. And the thing with that is there's probably a lot more money in it than most people will ever make from stock photography, but you need to have a certain level of skill and gear and also reputation, because you don't want to just start with photography and then like try to sell portraits and have a meeting with somebody and not even know how to really shoot portraits, because that's not going to look professional. You're not going to be able to deliver. You're not going to, well, you're just going to have a ton of stress on yourself. So the level of entry is a lot higher than with, let's say, stock photography. But, you know, I would recommend you to ease into it. Maybe you have some distant friend's sister who has a wedding, and you can just go and take some pictures, not as a wedding photographer, but just to kind of learn how it is to be at a wedding and to take pictures there, what angles work. Or, you know, maybe not start off charging people for portraits, but instead telling friends, hey, come out with me to the park, we're gonna take some pictures, you can have the pictures to put on your Facebook or whatever, and in exchange I'm just gonna try out a few different poses and focal lengths and whatnot. So don't just try to, you know, pick up photography and make money from it. Learn first and go slowly into it, and then, you know, after you have the experience and a certain amount of, I guess, routine, then you can start to charge money and, you know, get yourself out there. And I think it's a thing that works for a lot of people. I personally haven't done it very much at all, but I do know quite a lot of photographers who at least make a decent chunk of their living with that kind of shooting. Now, this actually brings us to number 3, and that's a very simple thing, but with a lot of different elements to it, which is building a website. Now, we're talking about the business side of photography, but being on the business side of being a YouTuber, you might make some sponsored videos. And this segment is indeed sponsored by Wix. Now, Wix is a website building platform. I know, how convenient. And what I want to tell you is just the general importance here of having a website, because it is a place where you can show off your best portfolio, your very best pictures, in a way that you want to. You know, it's your very own thing, you can design it however you want to, and it just seems so much more professional if you make a professional looking website. Now, going to the Wix part, if you want to build your own website, Wix allows you to do that very easily. You don't need any coding knowledge at all. And the great thing is you can build a really professional looking website in very little time. So you can drag and drop various elements, you can have a lot of choice to customize and upload pictures and have galleries, different pages, contact forms. I would recommend you to use Wix because I used it myself. You can start today with the link in the video description below, and it's actually free forever if you just need a basic site. But it is absolutely crucial to have a place that you can show clients, show companies, show other people, where you have all of your pictures, and also where they have a place to contact you. On a website, you can build your own contact page, and you can have an email contact, you can put a phone number there, you can have an address if you have a studio, for example. So there's just a ton of different ways that you can combine contacting and your best portfolio and a link to your social media, which is definitely something I would recommend you to add to your website. You know, it's just kind of a central hub where all of your very best work is linked to or is on there, and yeah, just a ton of possibilities. And it's one of the easiest things that you can do to elevate your brand and your name and your just pictures. So, of course, with Wix, there's a lot of different ways you can go even beyond. So you can even set up a store if you want to, for example, sell some pictures directly on your store, or maybe you are a print guy and you want to sell beautiful prints, then Wix allows you to set up that infrastructure, accept payment, have different sizes. And it also allows you to do email marketing and create invoices. It is a really big opportunity to build a website that looks professional and that is very functional, and that also scales on smartphones, by the way, in a very fast and very, very affordable way. But in any case, make sure you have a website. It is easier than ever and super, super important to elevate your brand. Now, going to number four, it's actually something quite similar to number 2, which is, number 2 was working with clients. Number 4 is working with companies or brands. And what I mean with that is mainly assignments, but it can also be working with a brand who needs some kind of special pictures for their product, or maybe you have to go somewhere to shoot a even restaurant, or perhaps a building, or some kind of product again. It's really kind of like the second point that I mentioned, except that you're not going to be working directly with your clients who you're going to deliver to, but you're going to work with somebody from that company who needs a certain thing. And let's just say you're a travel photographer and you do an assignment for a travel agency who for some reason needs pictures of horseback riding in Mongolia. Well, maybe you're gonna have to travel to Mongolia, take some pictures, and then deliver that to your client. So it's a lot more indirect than just meeting with somebody, shooting portraits, and giving them the pictures. And with that, of course, it allows you to have a lot more opportunities, and a lot different opportunities, because no single person would ever pay you to go to Mongolia, but a travel agency would. This is kind of a different ball game, and of course it has a lot higher ceiling. If you're working with assignments, you're working with maybe multi-million-dollar companies that have a lot more budget. So This, of course, is even harder than working with clients directly, because you need to have a portfolio that is very strong. You need to have work experience, because companies especially, they're going to make sure that their money is spent well, and they're going to make sure that they're going to get the return that they expect from their investment. So it's not something to start out with, but it is something you can work towards. And again, you can start doing kind of something for free. For example, let's say you go to a local charity, you ask them, is there something we can shoot? Maybe a Christmas event to put on an advertisement to get people to donate. And you can shoot that for free, but you still have the pictures, and you can add that story and the pictures to your portfolio. Or let's say you're traveling somewhere, you can make up your own ideas. For example, you want to just imagine you are on an assignment and you need to get a certain picture or a certain kind of look to a picture, and you can just kind of try it out yourself and add to your portfolio and fail probably, but then learn and just get more and more experience until you might be able to pitch to a client. And by the way, never be afraid to pitch to a client and ask and have phone calls and write emails, because even though you're going to be turned down a lot, so this is a good place to strive for, but not really to start. And that actually brings us to the fifth and last thing that I want to talk about here, which is something, again, very simple in contrary: social media. Now, social media, you might, no matter what type of photographer you are, whether you are young and you grew up with smartphones or you're more of the old generation, you should take advantage of social media, because it is so big and it is a way for people to discover you who would otherwise never have known of your name or your brand. So if somebody searches for a waterfall picture on Instagram and you tag a waterfall picture on Instagram, then maybe that's how they find your picture and that's how they follow you. And it's just such an amazing place to put your pictures online and just upload them in such an easy way, and then have a platform with such a large audience with, I don't know how many people visit Instagram, but it must be tens of millions every day. So you're gonna have, of course, a ton of different people, a ton of different photographers and just hobbyists or random people who upload pictures. And for that, because there is such a huge competition, I would really recommend you to focus on getting good, really good pictures rather than just mediocre pictures. Because even if you have just one really good picture every day, every week, maybe even every month, it's going to be worth so much more than having like 1,000 mediocre pictures. Because believe me, smartphones are getting better every year. Everybody has a camera, everybody can take mediocre pictures, but very few can take truly amazing pictures with great lighting, great quality, and great composition. So make sure you stand out, make sure you find your niche in social media, and then just post. Post to Instagram, to Facebook, to Twitter, wherever. But just put it out there. It's something that you can start off literally today. And I know even if you maybe don't like using it yourself, give it a try, because it is an amazing free place to get started. It is a marketing tool. You can drive traffic to your websites, to your workshops, to your calendars, to your prints. There's so many different opportunities there. And to recap all of these 5 things, it's really 2 things you should have, and that is social media. Start uploading today, it's free. Make a website, start today, make sure it looks good. And then starting off with stock photos is something very easy, something that you can also start off today, and that will give you residual income. But again, the downsides to it is that it's probably not going to give you a ton of money, but it's just going to be something you can get started with really easily. And it might give you some motivation as you see even your first dollar, your first download to come in. And then, of course, going out and trying to learn and get to practice to be able to work with clients, and then later on even corporate clients for assignments or whatever. It is something that is really, I think, some of the best things that you can do. and some of the best opportunities you can have to growing your photography business. Now, I know there's uncountable amounts of different other photography subjects and fields out there, and I just wanted to share you kind of 5 of the most important things that I think or that I know works for other photographers. But that's been it for today. Thank you very much for watching, and please, before you leave a comment down below if you've ever made any money with photography and what that was. So no matter if you're a professional photographer or if you just sold one picture for $1 on a stock photo site, also let me know, because I'm super curious to hear what a lot of people do and how they make money in what field, to see kind of how other photographers make it work. But anyways, that's me. Thank you very much for watching and have a wonderful day. Goodbye. Make some money. I don't have any money here, otherwise I would show you, because it would be whatever. Goodbye.